Hi, this is Jill from Humu Yoga, and this is the full yoga practice. This week we're working with the theme of commitment. So I'm going to take us through a gentle opening, and then I'll go through some inspirational quotes on commitment, and then I'll take us through a yoga practice where we're going to focus today on movements of the spine. So if this is something you like, please subscribe, because I do a different class every week with a different theme and a different focus. So to get started, let's just reach the fingertips to the side for a moment, close your eyes, and sit up tall. Begin to focus on the muscles you're sitting on or pelvic floor and engage it for support. We call that Mula Bandha or root lock. And then above that, below the belly button, draw the belly in and get a sense of lift. We call that Uddiyana Bandha, and it means flying upward. And at the top of the spine, just draw the chin down. We call that Jalandhara Bandha or chin lock. And it seals in the energy of the bandhas. And with the bandhas engaged now, you're supported from within so you can release the hands and just begin to focus on the breath. So inhale, feel the rib cage expand. And then as you exhale, you can feel how the rib cage relaxes. Again, visualize that rib cage, breathing into the whole rib cage. And then exhale, feel how it relaxes. One more time, big breath in. And exhale. Let's take the hands together in prayer position and we'll vibrate together in Om, and then I'll go through the quotes. Inhale. Om. True commitment isn't about perfection. It's about showing up with love, even when it's hard. Commitment is what transforms promise into reality. Stay committed to your decisions, but stay flexible in your approach. Commitment is an act, not a word. When you commit to something that nourishes your soul, it becomes less about discipline and more about devotion. Commitment. I love that you don't have to think of it as an obligation, but as an act of love. And then you find devotion comes through. So let's move through this yoga practice and find that devotion. And we'll start on all fours. So coming to all fours, and you've committed, you've shown up, you're taking this class. Let's round the back. Feel how when you round the back, you pull the belly in for support. You get a nice stretch across the back. And then as we come forward, we're working the back muscles like you're pushing the back muscles forward and arching the back and opening the front. And then exhale. Now we do the opposite. We pull the belly in and we stretch the back. One more time to inhale and just feel how all the movement is so nice on the spine. And then let's come to neutral. And then from here, we'll take it to downward facing dog. And just breathe in your downward facing dog, especially the first one of the day. You might need to bend the knees to get the back a little bit more lengthened so you're not forward. And then you might want to play around with straightening and bending, rolling the shoulders away from your ears, pulling the belly in. Breathing. Everything's working together to open up. And then from here, let's slowly start to walk up. You can press down with your hands and walk up lightly. And then once you get to the front of the mat, just let your body hang. You can release the neck a little bit. And then maybe you want to grab the elbows and just hang for a moment. And let's slowly start to curl up. So you could soften your knees here and start to stack the spine one vertebra at a time, curling all the way up, pulling the belly in for support. And then the shoulders fall down and in place, and just pause. And then let's take everything together in Samasatihi, standing still and straight, ready for sun salutations. I always practice with a set of yoga blocks and a little towel, but you could use a yoga belt or no props at all. They just give me a little bit of lightness that I like in my practice. So here we go. Inhale, reach, and exhale, fold. Feel the hinge at the hip sockets. Take the hands down, lengthen. Let's go ahead and take it back to a plank. Hold the plank for a moment. Notice, are you sinking or is your butt up? Try to get your tail under and really engage. And then we're going to try and keep this form. I come down to my knees because it's easier for me to hold that line. Lower, push back up, and let's come forward, upward facing dog. This is a back bend, so notice, let your back body come forward and then arch back. Feel the front go back. And let's take it back to downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale and exhale. And just notice where you're feeling this today. Keep breathing. Inhale. Keep reaching. And exhale. I'm trying to get a really long spine here. And then I'm also reaching through the heels. And exhale. Let's make our way up to the front and pushing down to lift up. Notice, are you feeling a little bit more warmed up? Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And rise. And exhale, hands down. One more, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale. Exhale, breathe. Inhale, lengthen. And let's go ahead and take it back. Pause, and we'll lower. And rise. And come through. Lift the sternum. Feel the back muscles working. Pushing forward as you lift the sternum. And then we'll take it back, downward facing dog. And breathe here. Inhale, keep the lift of your belly. Exhale, really reaching through the arms and I'm reaching through the heels. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. And let's make our way up to the front and pushing down to lift up. Push down. And exhale. Inhale, lengthen, and rising, and exhale, hands down. Surya Namaskar B. This is where I'm going to use blocks, but it's optional. Bend the knees, reach the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. You'll notice it's a little easier if you use blocks. You have more height. I'm going to lightly hop back, trying to keep my shoulders right where they were, and then lower. Rise. Let's come through. Upward facing dog. Feel that sternum lift and the back body is working. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and step the right foot forward. We're going to come into a lunge. So just keep the hands down by the sides for a moment. Keep your gaze down a little bit. Bend the back knee a little bit and engage these muscles under the butt so you feel a nice stretch on the front of that hip. And then we'll take angel arms. So angel arms, you feel the back body working. Now start to straighten the back leg. So the back is pushing forward and then the front is arcing back. Keep the back pushing forward and arc back. Reach, 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 and then rise up. Reach forward. Now pull your right butt back and then take the hands down and step back. Let's go ahead and lower and rise. And come through. Inhale, lift the sternum. And exhale, taking it back. Let's step the left foot forward for a lunge. So rising up, bend the back knee so you feel the hip flexor stretch on that right side. Really tuck that right butt under. Angel arms, engage the back. So feel the back pushing forward. Start to straighten your back leg. Back's pushing forward while the heart lifts and goes back, 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 and then reach up, reach forward, take the hands down, stepping back. And let's go ahead and lower and rise and come through. Inhale, lift the sternum, feel the back muscles working. And exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe, inhale. And exhale, keep reaching. Inhale and exhale. And one more, inhale and exhale. And then I'm going to lightly hop up. So I'm finding a little target and lift up and put the feet down. Bend the knees. If you're using the blocks, you notice it helps. It gives you a little height. and hands down. One more, bend the knees. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And let's go ahead and take it back. And lower. And then rise, coming through. Feel that back working in the front, opening. And exhale. This time we're coming into warrior one. Right foot forward, so the back foot comes down. Then turn your ribs forward. Let's find the back body. The back is pushing forward and the front is arcing back. Reach. And then inhale, rise up. Keep pulling your right butt back as you reach forward. Take the hands down so everything's supported. And lower. And rise. And come through. Lift the sternum. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do the left side. Step the left foot forward, right foot down. Turn the right ribs forward, reach up. Feel the back pushing forward and the front of the body opening, lifting. And reach up and reach forward. Let's step back and we'll lower. And rise and come through. Inhale, feel the back body pushing forward and the heart lifting upward. And then downward facing dog. I love that. Breathe, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. One more breath, and exhale. Find that target, bend the knees, lift up, put the feet down. And fold. Bend the knees, reach the arms, and come to stand. Samasatihi. We're going to take the feet hip width. So if you think about commitment as grounding and devotion as going into the love, we'll feel that here. So inhale here, we're grounding down through the feet and we're hinging at the hips. Engage the back muscles enough so that your spine is lengthened and not round, right? So you're supported there. Now that you're fully supported, you can surrender into the pose. So there's so much going on here. Inhale, try to keep the front of the legs engaged so the back of the legs stretch. Breathe, inhale, and exhale. One more breath. Try to get your shoulders away from your ears. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen, feel the back engage. And then the heart can open and rise up. And exhale, let's take everything down to Samasatihi, standing still and straight. Now we're going to start our standing poses. So I'm going to set up some blocks. And we'll go ahead and step out. And we'll come into Trikonasana. So turning the left foot in and the right foot out. Inhale here, and we're really open. So the strong foundation of the legs opening as you come into Trikonasana. You could keep your hand here, or you could use the prop. And I like to have it right under the shoulder, and then turn to open. Now I'm really working on opening this left shoulder so I feel that heart open a bit. Breathe, that sternum. Breathe. Inhale, a lot going on in the legs and across the chest. Rise up. And then we'll pivot to the other side. Turn the right foot in, the left foot out. So this is your grounding, your support. Inhale here. Exhale. You could have your hand on your shin or you could use the block. And really open that right shoulder. So I'm feeling the back engage here enough so that I can really breathe and feel a nice stretch across here. Across the chest, the legs. Inhale, rise up. And then we'll pivot to the right for Parivrtta. So Parivrtta Trikonasana is a bit of a balance. So if you're finding that you're wobbly, you could go a little out, right? You don't have to be so strict. So just see how it feels in your body. Inhale here, we're going to come forward and really pull the right butt back. Now we're coming into a twist. So it's a big hamstring stretch and the spine is turning. Try not to turn your hips very much. See if you can turn from the middle of the spine. Breathe. And then inhale and rise up. And the legs are rooting, they're grounding you. So we'll go to the other side. So as you come forward, notice, does this hip want to come forward? See if you can keep pulling that left hip back. You get a nice hamstring stretch when you do that. Take the hand down. Now we're turning from the middle of the spine upwards. Turn the ribs, the right ribs, and reach up. Roll that left shoulder open. Breathe. And then inhale and rise up. And now we're going to come into warrior two. So maybe a little wider. Turn the back foot in and the front foot out. It's a nice open hip pose. So bend. Try to get a nice right angle here as best you can. Let's flip the palms to open up a little bit more. Engage the back, open the front. And then we'll come into Utthita Parsvakonasana. So we're just going to come down. You could have your hand here, or you could use a block, or you could grab your leg somewhere. Reach up. And then from here, open that left shoulder and reach over and start to turn those right ribs up towards the ceiling. And then inhale here, reach up, use the legs, rise up. We'll go to the other side. So turning, here we go. Inhale, melt into Virabhadrasana, warrior two. Open the sternum, feel the back working. Hands come down, breathe. Parsvakonasana, you could stop here, you could go here. Maybe you're using a block. Open the shoulder, feel the back engage and the front open. Reach, breathe. Maybe you want to take your gaze towards your elbow or towards your palm. Reach up, use those legs, rise up. Now we're going to pivot to the right. We're going to come into Anjaneyasana and then take it into Parivrtta, Parsvakonasana. So there's going to be a nice back bend here. Make sure when you come down, you're a little forward of your kneecap and not right on it. You could also be on a little towel or a blanket. So Anjaneyasana, we're pulling that right butt back and taking this left butt under. And now we're going to really engage the back. So feel those back muscles pushing forward as you take the front back. And then when you can, reach the arms, but keep that engagement and keep that left butt under. So you get a nice stretch on the top of the left hip. Breathe. Inhale, rise up. Now we're going to take it to Parivrtta, Parsvakonasana. So nice twist here. Take a moment, get your breath, and then we're going to start to come across. It's okay if you roll this left shoulder forward a little bit to get across. So just do the best you can. We're going to take the hands to prayer position and start to turn those ribs. You could stay here or tuck the back toes, rise up. Keep trying to pull your right butt back as you turn those left ribs to the right. You could keep your gaze down or you could look up. Use that right butt to come up and we'll pivot. So we'll slowly come down. Make sure your weight is a little forward of the kneecap, not directly on it, or you could be on a towel or a blanket. Make sure you're keeping this right butt under, left butt back. Now we're going to engage the back muscles. Engage as you're pushing your back forward as the heart lifts. And then at some point, take the arms and keep that. Keep the back pushing forward and the heart going back, back, back. And then inhale, rise up. Pause for a moment. Set yourself up so that your ankle is below your knee as best you can. And then we're going to come across. Take your time. You're trying to get this armpit over as much as you can. And then keep your gaze a little down. I think it helps at first as we start to turn. Now you could stay here or tuck the back toes under. I'm pulling that left butt back a lot. And then try to turn. And breathe. You could gaze down the nose. You could gaze straight ahead or up. And then inhale, rising up, using that butt. And come up. And now let's do Prasarita, Padottanasana. So nice and wide. It's a spread out forward bend. Inhale here. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Feel the spine lengthening. So you're engaged enough that you're in a neutral spine. Coming down. And then walk your hands through. You could always put your head on a block if that's where you were.
Or maybe you can come to the floor, pulling your shoulders away from your ears, making a right angle at the elbows. And breathe, try to really straighten your legs. Breathing, inhale and exhale. And then inhale, lengthen. Let's take the hands on the waist and rise up. We're gonna move the feet in a little bit. We'll come into goddess pose. So turning the feet out, let's try to come straight down. Try not to lean forward or back. And we'll come down with the angel arms. So lift the sternum. Feel the back body. It's working and the front is opening. And breathe. So here's that nice opening. And then we take it and rise up. And now let's take a step up to the front, Samasatihi. Let's come into now Utthita, Hasta, Padangusthasana, and we'll also do a variation of tree pose with that. But let's really focus on the grounding and then the opening. So standing, you could use the wall, let the right leg come up, and really feel the grounding through the left leg. And then we're gonna grab the toe, reach, and find a gaze that's down and forward, and just stand, breathe. And now open. Now you might wanna do something expressive and find the openness, the grounding and then the openness. And then from here, maybe you could let go and bring it into tree pose. Maybe you have to use the wall, but maybe not. And maybe you wanna go somewhere big with it. But it's okay if you're staying here for a more grounded variation, and then down. Let's do the other side. So the left leg comes up, and then grab the toe. Extend the leg out. Breathe here. Keep your gaze down. Open out. Change it into something really expressive. Breathe. And then we'll let go and see where you go. Reach up, maybe. Maybe you want to really be expressive, grounding, and then reaching. And then we'll slowly come down, or maybe you wanted to stay here and slowly coming down. We're going to make our way to the front. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. And then from here, inhale, lengthen. Let's go ahead and take it back to a down dog and just pause for a moment. And notice, where are you in your down dog now? Breathing. We're going to come down to the knees and do a little bit of a prep pose for Bakasana. We're going to try Bakasana today. But before we do that, I want you to really push and protract. So you're going to really protract and round your spine, right? So this is the cat, right? And then as we come forward, you feel the back push forward and the front open. That's the cow. And then come back to the cat and hold for a moment. We're going to use this position to keep the shoulders over the wrist, to just lift up. Notice what that feels like. And then come back down. If that went well and you want to try, scoot forward a little, find that cat, pull the belly in, push down and lift up. So now we're rounding the spine, but we're lifting the belly and down. So this is what we want in Bakasana. So we're going to come into Bakasana, and don't worry about doing the whole pose. Just follow along and do the best you can. We're bending, and I'm trying to get my arms, my armpits, right by my knees. And the elbows are going a little out to the diagonal. You can turn your hands out slightly. Now this is where you want to really lift up. Find a gaze forward, lift up. And then the feet will just come off, maybe, and lift up. Maybe not. Keep lifting up. Even if your feet aren't coming off, keep pulling the belly in, and then come down. And then we'll walk back to down dog. Even if your feet don't come off the floor, it's all good. You're doing something. You're teaching your body a pattern. Let's open the knees and reach. And then by continually trying, breathing with good form and good intent, then you'll get it one day. Or you'll just get lighter and lighter with it. but to a point where it's not something you dread doing. You actually enjoy working on it. And that makes commitment a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and sit up. And sit up in Dhanurasana for a moment. And notice, can you straighten your legs and engage the legs? Are you curled back or can you sit up? If you're curled back, bend the knees a little bit or sit up on a block or a blanket. And we'll take Paschimottanasana. So I'm just going to take my thumbs on the big toe knuckle and the hands on the baby toe side and try and push the big toe knuckle forward. So maybe you need to bend your knees to do that. Or maybe if you can't get to your feet, you use a towel, but you keep pushing with the feet. The big toe knuckle forward, baby toe side back. And then breathe. So we get length in the low spine, and then you can surrender. Breathe, inhale. Shoulders away from your ears, exhale. Inhale. Straight legs, exhale. One more breath, inhale. And exhale. And rise. And from here, we'll go ahead and get a little bit of a glute stretch. So we're going to pull the right knee for Akarna Dhanurasana. You're going to pull that knee by your armpit and just pull back like a bow and arrow. You're pulling back. This is your bow. Breathe. So you're flexing at the hip. And then we'll bring the leg across. Now try to sit up when you do this. You'll feel more stretch in the glutes with that right outer hip. See if you can find that. Cradle like a baby. Then we can bend the knee for support and use the hands here. Try to open the knee. Sit up and try and open that knee. And if this is good and you're getting a good stretch, stay. But some people might be able to do Anjaneyasana, which is fire log pose. Knee to ankle, ankle to knee. And come forward if you're in that. And breathe. But this might not be accessible to you. If your knee's way up here, it's really good to stay here. And whatever pose you're in, we're going to meet here. And then we'll slowly come out. Let's do the other side. So the left leg bends, pulling the knee back. Dhanurasana, like a bow and arrow. You're pulling back, flexing at the hip. And it's okay if the back is curled back a little in this one. And now, as we bring it across, though, for cradle, you want to sit up. You'll get a better stretch in your hip, and it won't be so hard on your back. So lift up, and you can bend the right knee and sit up here. Try to open the knee. And some of you might be able to do Anjaneyasana. My class was asking me the other day, have you always been able to do that, or is this something you worked on? Truth is, I kind of have always been able to do this. So some people, our hips are all shaped differently. I struggle with other postures. We'll meet here. So you have to really just notice what's going on in your body and try not to compare. Sometimes it's hard. And sit up. And let's do Marichyasana C. So bend the right knee. But now we're going to come into a twist. And everybody's bodies are shaped differently here too. So start by taking the crook of your elbow and just trying to sit up and keep this left leg active as we try to turn more from the back, right? From the spine. Lift up and you're trying to turn the left ribs to the right. Maybe you can take your arm on the other side. Try to keep your butt down as best you can, or you could be sitting up on a block or a blanket, and we'll come back and we'll do the other side. So bending the knee, sitting up tall, and then try to get the crook of your elbow here first and sit up. Notice as your butt up off the floor, do the best you can to try and get it down and lengthen. Then we start to come across and we're trying to turn more from the upper spine. So I'm really trying to turn the right ribs to the left. Inhale and exhale. And then we'll come back and Dhanurasana. Now we're going to cross and we're going to come forward. And we're going to find ourselves in Virabhadrasana. So Virabhadrasana or hero's pose. I use blocks because I have osteoarthritis in my knees and they don't flex as deeply as they used to. Also though, I use my thumbs to create a little space behind the knee and push down and open out. It just feels nice. But go to a height that feels good in your body and just notice that you want to sit up really tall. And then from here, let's go ahead and take Yana Mudra, which is a great mudra for today because we're working on commitment and devotion. And Yana Mudra combines universal intelligence with individual intelligence. So I think of that as like the spiritual coming into the grounding. And so let's just sit here for a moment in that and find that devotion, that love, that peace right here. And breathe. And this is what it's all about. And now let's go ahead and stay in this energy as we take it into a back bend. So feeling the back connect here. It's like the back is pushing forward so the whole front can go back. And just be in that. And then at some point, if you want to, take your arms. See where you can go. Breathing. And then inhale. Come back to prayer position. And just be in a pause. And then we'll make our way up to the knees. So we're going to come up high on the knees for Uttanasana. So you can use your blocks. Some people, if you don't have blocks, you could tuck your toes under that way. Or maybe you don't need them. Get a sense before we go into Uttanasana or camel pose that you're pushing down with the shins. And I'm feeling these muscles engage here. So this is pushing down and the hips are opening in the front. And from here, I'm going to feel this back bend again. So it's like the back muscles are pushing forward. The back muscles are pushing forward. Just feel that. Just notice. Even if you don't ever get to the blocks, if you feel this, you're doing something. Once you do touch the blocks, maybe you're here, maybe your hands come here, lift the sternum more, and then maybe take the head back, but only if it feels good. Make sure you're pushing that back forward and lifting up to go back. Breathe, breathe, inhale. When you can find the devotion and the love in a pose, I really think that's what yoga poses are all about. Grounding and then finding the opening. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and come to standing and take us to the wall where we're going to do some drop backs. And I'll meet you there. So now we've made it over to the wall. So just find a distance that you feel comfortable at. I'm pretty far away from the wall. You could start all the way up at the wall and your back bend doesn't have to be too deep. So go at your level and really listen to your body and trust the commitment and it'll be there for you. So we'll start here and get a sense of engaging the back. So all of those back muscles are pushing forward. It's like the back is pushing forward and then the front, everything's going back. So the back is pushing forward and then everything's going back. You find a distance where you can just touch and then rise up. And I felt like I wanted to be a tiny bit closer, so I'm going to move a tiny bit closer so you can adjust. We're going to do this 2 more times. On the last one, we'll hold for a few breaths. So here we go again. Feel the back pushing forward, lifting up. The back is pushing forward, but everything's going back, going back. Use your legs. Touch. Rise up. And this will be the last one. Inhale. Feel everything pushing forwards in your back. And the front going back, back, back. Use your legs. Back, back. Touch, maybe hold. Breathe, breathe. Use the legs. And rise up. And now we'll make our way down to the floor. Hopefully that felt great. So now we just finished the drop backs
And we're going to do a nice slow roll down. So we really worked the back and opened the front. Now we're going the opposite way. So be really slow and gentle on your body and just notice, can you find release? So you could soften the knees a little here if you needed to. Find your neutral pelvis, pubic bone and belly button on the same plane. So you're not sticking out or tucking under, you're just neutral. And then try to drop from your head down, rounding the spine. Now it's okay to soften the knees slowly. We're stretching the spine, but slowly. And just hang here for a moment and breathe. And then if you wanted to, you could try to straighten the legs. Just notice your body, what it wants to do. And then we're going to take the hands down. When you're ready, you could bend the knees and walk back to a down dog. And breathe here and just notice how this feels. Breathing. Hopefully you're finding some release. You can bend and straighten the knees a couple times. And then we'll make our way onto the knees. And now, this time, let's take the feet together and the knees apart for Adho Mukha Virasana. So it's upside down Virasana. Reach, reach, reach. Try to get the butt back. Reach the arms forward and breathe. And inhale, rising up. Let's come to seated. And we're going to make our way from Dhanurasana to Padottanasana. So you could just take your feet together and scoot the butt in. Try to open your feet like a book and find external rotation at your hips. So you're opening the knees. And sit up. And then if everything was going well and you wanted to, you could gently use your elbows to encourage the opening of the knees and just come forward. Only as far as feels good in your body. And you might want to just drop the head. Breathing, breathing. Inhale, rise up. And now let's do a nice restorative variation of that. You can move your feet forward. So you're making a diamond here. Let's pull the belly in and round the spine. So we're stretching the spine. And just drop the head down. Now if your head doesn't come to your feet, blocks are nice here. You can maybe take a block here. You could have the block higher. Just do what feels good in your body, trying to open the knees, pull the belly in. Inhale, rise up. And from here, we'll do a nice roll back. So sit up tall, and this is stretching the spine as well. Pull the belly in, curling back. Pull the belly in, curl back. And now we're going to bend the knees, and we'll come into an articulating bridge. So take a breath in, exhale, curl. So we're using the back of the legs here, tucking under. This stretches the spine out too. Lift way up and it works the glutes and the hamstrings. Lift up as high as you can and you'll feel a stretch in the hip flexors here. If you want to, reach the arms, lift the heels, and curl down slowly. Think of it as a spine release. As you pull the belly in, you reach the arms, curling all the way down. And then the arms will come down. And then we'll finish as usual with a supported inversion. So I'm using the block, but you could just have your feet up without it. You could use a wall too. So it's just nice to reverse the blood flow a little here. You can make sure your ribs aren't poking out and you're not too far tucked under. And try to straighten your legs. You could close your eyes here. You could even, if it's not contraindicated in your practice, like you don't have osteoporosis or any injury, come into Halasana. And then maybe shoulder stand is nice. Make sure your chin is not in your chest and not back, but nice and neutral. It should feel relaxing. Like the reverse of the blood flow, like I said. It feels nice. And then come over maybe. Some of you might want to bend the knees. Or there might be variations you want to do here and pause the video. So you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, we meet here. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees. Lift the hips up. Let's shift the hips to the left. Take the arms out to the side. Let the knees come up. And take the knees over to the right. You could use your right hand to encourage that left knee over. And now I'm turning the ribs to open. Feel that spine twisting. Inhale. But it's more restorative when we're lying on the floor. Breathe. Inhale, coming up. Lift the hips up, shift them to the right. Let the knees come up and over. Turning. I'm turning the left ribs to the right. Breathing. You can almost allow gravity to take you around. It feels really good. And then bring everything back. You can pull the knees in. You could curl up. You could do a happy baby here. You could do all of them. Do what feels good. And then we'll relax into Shavasana. So just let go. Trust the devotion, your commitment here. And just be in that openness. And you can stay here as long as you'd like and pause the video. But I'm going to go ahead and take us out. So just become aware of your breath. And without changing the energy, moving the fingers and the toes. And we'll make our way over to a fetal position and we'll pause. And then very slowly making your way up to seated. And I always love to finish class the same way we started. And just notice, where are you now in your body, in your mind? Let that commitment and that devotion resonate in everything you do. Namaste.